everybody. Welcome back to the Brewing Bright Minds podcast. I'm here with Miss Dom, and we are excited to chat about what makes a quality preschool program.
Yes, very excited.
I think it's very daunting for most parents that are beginning this journey of trying to find the right place for their child to spend most of their day outside of home, who to place their child in the care with. And so we'd love to share our thoughts on what makes a quality program. I feel like, Ms. Dom, you've had a lot of experience in different settings. On my end, I am a parent of 2 young kids, and my husband and I felt that it was easier maybe to start something new that we would feel confident in for our kids. I wanted the power to choose every teacher that I wanted for my children. I wanted the ability to create the curriculum I wanted, the structure that I wanted, and hire the people that would support me and my kids in the way that I wanted. And I think ultimately, hopefully, what I wanted also aligned with other members of the community that wanted the same thing.
Yeah, and I think that it's not just for parents, it's for teachers as well, choosing a quality program to be a part of. I've worked in many centers and can safely say that I've probably only worked in 2 quality programs, this being one of them. And so it's huge. There's, so many childcares. There's one on every street, multiple on every street, in-home, facility, corporate, so many different types. And they are not all quality. Most of them aren't. They can say that they are and they can advertise that they are, but internally they are not, from a teacher's perspective and a parent's perspective. So it's huge choosing that.
Yes, absolutely. And it's been really interesting as we approached, we're a year and a half into our new school and program, on both ends of hiring talent and what does that entail, because that creates the culture that you want for the team, but also that carries through for your children. And
most of the interviews that we do, when we ask the question, why are you leaving your current position, most of the time it's, I'm looking for something new, or I'm looking for a more quality program. And then when, if they do join our team, in their first couple weeks, they say, whoa, I've never seen a school that does this. I've never had a boss that does this. I've never had co-teachers or co-workers that do this. And that's how you know that we're doing something different.
Yes. And so I think most parents fall back on when they're touring and they're starting this process. They look at, well, okay, what are just the basic facts? What is the student to teacher ratio? What are the class sizes? You want to kind of, check all those boxes and make sure they're following state standards and regulations, which by law they have to, and they'll say that they do in the tour. And so you have to, again, just trust the team. And if you get a good feeling about the admin and the team members, then you just trust that they are doing that throughout the day.
Right. And the state licensing regulations and documents are public information. It's public knowledge. You can actually go onto your state's website and look at the most recent licensing visits that the school has. It's a little bit of work to research it, but if you truly want to know, you can look at the public database of the states. When licensing visits a school, they post it for the
public
for
knowledge.
Anyone to see, for public to see. So you can actually look, okay, they said in the tour that their ratio is 1 teacher to 4 students. But then if they go look online and they see that, licensing visited them 2 years ago and saw that the ratio was 1 teacher to 8 students or whatever the case may be, you can look at that. And it's really important to look at that so that you see that what they're saying in the tour matches up to what they're actually doing.
Yes. And so all those things, first, that's just basic necessities in terms of care and just having the infrastructure to provide adequate care for your child. So yes, you should be looking for those things. But everyone will say the same thing.
Right.
So you really have to trust your gut and check the database to see if, in fact, does it align. And
just ask questions. I'm sure most schools have a script that they follow when they tour. We don't. We just kind of go with the flow. But some schools do have a literal script that they read, and some things that they mention may not be what what a parent is thinking or wanting to ask. And so it's really important for a parent to ask questions while they're on that tour, whether it's their first tour of a school or their 100th tour of a school. I know sometimes we get parents who say that they have toured 20 schools in the area, and they give feedback or whatever the case may be, but it's just important to ask the questions that you're curious about.
Yes. So I think based on our experience, there have been really great, unique questions that come to mind, and really tell you a lot of insight on how they would handle certain situations.
Yeah, and it's also important that during tours, you're looking at the culture of the building between the teachers, the admin, looking at different how the teachers are interacting with each other, how the teachers are interacting with the children. Of course, you only see a tiny little snippet during the tour, but that little snippet is what a normal day-to-day looks like, depending on the time of day, and it's really important to notice that.
Yes, and I can't tell you how many times that we have done tours and the parents have just kind of stopped me and said, hey, thank you so much for being kind.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for really showing us, your program. Thank you so much for just responding and caring.
Yeah. Well, and even, just the other day I was doing a tour and I just flat out said, I was like, this is just a normal day. Like, all of the kids were crying and the room was messy. And I was like, this is the time of day. This is lunchtime.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah,
this is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like, and it's not always going to be a calm moment. It's not always going to be the perfect moment to do a tour. It's going to be real life. And so if you walk in and you see, okay, it is lunchtime, but the teacher is holding this child and the teacher is cleaning this up and the teacher's it's important, it's important to see the real raw moments of the day. It's one if a teacher is not cleaning or not holding a child, or if a teacher is yelling at their co-teacher, then that's when you know that it's not a good environment.
Yes, so it's a tell if the teachers are getting along. Are they smiling?
Right. Yeah.
Are they talking to the children and singing and dancing? You really are looking for those special interactions that, it's really what you imagine in your mind. Are they carrying out those interactions with your kids on a daily basis? Of course, it's a snippet, but you'd hope that extends into what their day looks like. So are the teachers smiling?
Yes.
Are they happy to be at work? Yes. I can't tell you how many tours have told us, oh my goodness, the teachers actually look like they like being here. I'm like, yeah, I'd hope so. And I don't think that's actually the case for a lot of schools, which is so sad, because this is where you're placing your child all day. So if the teachers are not happy there, then what makes you think that your children will be happy there?
Right, exactly. And it's also a huge thing to note too is what credentials do the teachers have and what their experience is. Do they actually want to be there? Asking those questions, or going onto the school's website and seeing the teachers' little bios that they have on the website, or just asking the teachers during the tour. If you're on a tour and you're inside a classroom, you can totally ask a teacher, what's your experience? What made you want to do this? Because it's really important to have people that want to be there, and we do a really good job of hiring people that genuinely want to be with us, but some schools just hire anyone that they can because it's just the nature of the field.
It's just high turnover. You see a different teacher every 2 weeks, just because the support is not there for the teachers. Right. They're not happy. They don't have support to even just go to the restroom at times. And so who would want to work under those conditions? So yes, I would ask about teacher credentials. I would ask also if they would be, and I think it would throw them off, what is your turnover rate? How often are your teachers staying here? Are they leaving? I feel like we're really upfront and honest about everything, but when they answer that, do you feel like they're being honest, or do you feel like they are giving you, a spiel or a sell?
Yeah. And you have to be, I mean, you have to be honest about it. Like I said, I mean, it's unfortunately in this field, there is a lot of turnover because teachers get really burnt out, or they get really, their growth is stunted from the school that they're at, and they want more, or they want to be able to do more in the classroom. And if they don't feel supported or feel like they have a say, then they'll leave and they'll find a place that does. And so asking that, you know, what is your turnover rate, and being honest about it. And even they could even ask, there was a time when a parent asked what like children turnover rate was. And it stopped me for a second, because I was like, what is our turnover rate with children? And we actually don't, you know, we don't have one because people don't leave. And at some schools they do. Some schools will have different children in the classroom every month because of the turnover. And that's just as important as teacher turnover, you know?
Yes. Again, you want consistency in care at home, you want that at school as well.
Right.
So when you're trying to find a place to care for your child, you do not want a revolving door of faces and people who is going to, you know, interact with your child. You want consistency and relationships.
Right. And also, it's also important too, if you're currently enrolled at a school, and if you're seeing a lot of teachers but not getting introduced to them, or the director or other admin is not telling the parents that we have a new teacher or that this teacher left, that's transparency. And if your current school is not being transparent, that is a red flag. And so the director, the assistant director, the admin, the lead teacher, whoever it is, should be saying, hey, we are getting a new teacher in this classroom in 2 weeks, in a month. We're getting this new teacher. We're doing this. We're actively looking for a new having that conversation so that parents expect it, and that they can go home and talk to their kids about it if they're old enough. Or if they're an infant and you're telling the teacher, hey, you're telling the parent, there's another teacher going to be coming into this classroom in a week or in 2 weeks, so that the parent knows there's going to be a new face for my child. There's going to be a new face when I pick up. There's going to be a new face when I drop off. Because if a school is just throwing new teachers in, not introducing, not having that conversation, and then you go drop off your child and this new teacher is like, hi, I'm blah, 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 and, you know, thanks for your kid. It's like, what? Like, who are you? And where is the other teacher? Like, where's this teacher that I've known forever? They need to be transparent. The school needs to be transparent about who's coming in and who's going out.